The Constitution of India, Preamble. We, the people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic and to secure to all its citizens justice, social, economic and political, liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith and worship, equality of status and of opportunity, and to promote among them all fraternity, assuring the dignity of the individual and the unity and integrity of the nation. In our Constituent Assembly, this 26th day of November 1949, do hereby adopt, enact and give to ourselves this Constitution.
Hi my dear children, welcome to a new session of English class. Today, let's begin our session with an informative quote. You have got to get up every morning with determination, and if you are going to go to bed with satisfaction. That means when we get up in the morning, we should take a few minutes to motivate ourselves and take time to register our goals for the day and work for it. So surely at the end of the day, we get satisfaction. Right children? Yes. So always remember, your focus determines your reality. So focus on your studies and attain success. If you are determined enough, no one can stop you from attaining the goal of your desire. So be determined. Now let's move on to our lesson. Today we are going to learn a few topics on grammar. Let's see to that. You learned in Tarun's lesson that Tarun considered himself as the black sheep of the family. What does it mean? What does the black sheep mean? Yes, black sheep mean odd person in a group. But the literal meaning, the actual or the close meaning is the color of the sheep. Right. So, such a group of words with a meaning which different from the meaning of an individual word is called an idiom. Okay, so an idiom, it is a common phrase that has a different meaning from the literal meaning. Literal meaning means the actual meaning. Okay, so as I said, Tarun considered himself as the black sheep of the family. So here, the black sheep literal meaning is the color of the sheep, but idiomatic expression, that means an odd person of the group. Right? So here we have examples. Break a leg. When we hear the phrase, we will get an image like this, right? But the meaning is, break a leg means a way to wish someone good luck. You have an exam tomorrow, so break a leg, which means you have an exam tomorrow, I am wishing you a good luck, all the best. So break a leg means to wish someone good luck. So tell your friends when they are going to appear for the exam, break a leg. Okay? Next one, to spill the beans. So when we hear the phrase spill the beans, surely we will get an image like this, right? But the meaning is to tell a secret, to tell or reveal a secret. Shyam afraid Rita would spill the beans. So Shyam afraid Rita would tell or reveal the secret to others. So children, don't spill the beans to others. Okay? Next one, to chicken out. So when we hear the phrase, surely we will get an image of chicken. Right. So here the meaning is not doing a thing because of fear. Next one, to smell a rat. Are we smelling a rat? Here, to think something is wrong. For example, I smelt a rat when some items missing from my table. So smell a rat means to think something is going wrong. Next one, crack a book. Are we going to crack a book? No. Here the meaning is open a book and study. So my dear children, crack your English book. So please don't crack your English book in the literal meaning. So open your English book and study. Right? Here we have some more examples. Fill in the blanks. The common phrase where we find in the question papers. Right? Fill in the blanks with appropriate answers. Here the meaning is provide more information. Okay? So fill in the blanks means to provide more information. Next one, piece of cake. Yummy, delicious cake. So yummy, delicious cake. Here the meaning is something very easy. My English exam was a piece of cake, which means my English exam was very easy. Got it? And the next one, pig out, which means eat a lot. So when I went to the function, I ate a lot. So pig out means eat a lot. Right? So hope you have understood it well. Next we are going to learn about subject and predicate. Before that, you should know what a sentence is. So what is a sentence? Yes. Sentence is a group or combination of words that makes a complete sense. Okay? Is country India my? Is it a meaningful sentence? No, it is not arranged properly. So, India is my country. So, India is my country. This is a sentence. So, a sentence becomes meaningful when the words are arranged in a proper order. So, a sentence has two parts, subject and predicate. Okay, so what is a subject? A subject is a person, place or thing we speak about in a sentence. Okay, then what about a predicate? So, predicate means when we say something about the subject, about the place, about the person or thing, that is predicate. Here we have examples. India is my country. So, what is the subject in this sentence? Yes, subject is India. We are speaking about India. So, what about the predicate? Predicate is my country. So, sentence has two parts, subject and predicate. Subject is India and predicate is my country. Always remember that predicate starts with verb. What do you mean by verb? Verb means an action word. Right, noun and verb. Noun means a person, place or a thing. And verb means an action word. Who am I? I'm a teacher, right? So teacher is a noun. What am I doing? I am teaching. So I am doing action. I am teaching you. So teaching is the verb. Got it? So here the sentence India is my country. India is the subject and is my country is the predicate. So remember, predicate always begins with verb. Here is a helping verb. Okay? And next one, again, India is a subject and predicate can produce vaccine. Here again, the predicate starts with can. Verb. Okay? And next one, again, India. India is a subject. Has varied culture is the predicate. So here again, the predicate starts with the verb has. Got it? So children, always remember the predicate begins with either with the main verb or with the helping verb or with the modal verb. Got it? So main verb. Main verb means action words. Example, jump, run, eat, sleep, read, etc. So I run fast. So what's the subject here? Yes, I is the subject. What's the predicate then? Run fast. Okay, run fast is the predicate. So next one, helping verbs. That is, am, are, was, were, have, has, had, etc. For example, as we discussed already, India has varied culture. So here India is the subject and the predicate begins with the verb has. Has varied culture is the predicate. And next one, modal verb. Modal verbs can, could, may, might, shall, should. Okay. Example, India can produce vaccine. Again here the subject is India. So what about predicate? Yes, can produce vaccine. So here also the predicate starts with the modal verb can produce vaccine. Hope is clear for you children. The fishermen are catching fish. In this sentence, about whom we are talking? Yes, we are talking about the fishermen. So, what is the subject here? The fishermen. The fisherman is the subject. And what the subject is doing? Yes, the fishermen are catching fish. Why we used are instead of is? Because fishermen, M-E-N, is a plural form. Okay? M-A-N, man is a singular form and M-E-N, men is a plural form. So we use are here. So are catching fish is the predicate. Predicate. Got it children? So a sentence has two parts, subject and predicate. Right? Next example, Varun is playing piano. So here, about whom we are talking? Yes, we are talking about Varun. And what the subject is doing here? Yes, Varun is playing piano. So is playing piano is the predicate. Varun is subject and is playing piano is predicate. Right? Here we use the verb is because Varun is singular form. Right? Next one, the teacher teaches us grammar. Here, about whom we are talking? Yes, about the teacher. So teacher is the subject. And what does the teacher do? The teacher teaches us grammar. So teaches us grammar is the predicate. And the last example, a coconut has fallen. Again, so in this sentence, what is the subject? Arshida, can you find out? Yes, very good. A coconut. A coconut is the subject and the predicate is has fallen. Predicate. So children, in the first sentence, the fishermen are catching fish. We use the helping verb are. The second sentence, Varun is playing piano. Again, we use the helping verb is. And the third sentence, the teacher teaches us grammar. Here we use the main verb, that is action verb, teaches. Got it? The last one, a coconut has fallen. Again, here we have used the helping verb. Okay? So I hope it's clear for you. So the next one is subject verb agreement. What do you mean by agreement? It's an understanding or compromise, right? If the subject is singular, the verb will be singular, right? That is, add s or es to the verb. If the subject is plural, do not add s or es to the verb, right? Got it? Let me take you through some examples. Okay? So she sings beautifully. Here the subject she is singular. She means a single person. And the verb is sing. So as I said, if the subject is singular, we have to add yes or es to the verb. So we added yes. She sings beautifully. She sings. So we added yes to the verb. She sings beautifully. Okay? They sings beautifully. Is it correct sentence, children? So if the subject is plural, they means more than one person, 2 or 3 persons. Okay? So when the subject is plural, do not add s or es to the verb. So they sing beautifully. Got it? So if the subject is singular, we have to add s or es to the verb. If the subject is plural, we should not add s or es to the verb. Right? The next one, the bike look expensive. Again, the bike. Here is a one bike. Bike look expensive. So what we have to add? If the subject is singular, we have to add yes or es to the verb. So we added yes. The bike looks expensive. The next one, the bikes look expensive. Is it a correct sentence? Yes, because the bikes are plural form and we don't add s or es to the verb look. So the bikes look expensive. Got it? And the next one, the car go fast. Here the subject, the car. Right. The car is in singular form. The car go. So go is the verb. So what we have to add with the verb? S or es. So here goes. G-O-E-S. We have added es. So car goes fast. And the next one, the cars goes fast. Is it a correct sentence? No. Because the cars already is a plural form. We added es here. So es is not needed. So we don't add s or es to the verbs. So if the subject is singular, we have to add s or es to the verb. And if the subject is plural, don't add s or es to the verb. This is known as subject-verb agreement. Right? So here is an understanding between the subject and the verb. Got it, children? So hope you have understood today's session. We have discussed about idiom and subject and predicate. Right? So go through your textbook. Thank you, children. Have a nice day. It's bye from your Indo teacher. Thank you.